knowledge is power is a bunch of bullcrap. It's applied knowledge is power, because you can know everything in the world. And if you are not applying what you know every single day, then what good does the knowledge do?
Welcome to the Waste No Day podcast, a podcast specifically for and about the home services industry as it relates to plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. More than a podcast, Waste No Day is a credo, a determination, a mindset. It is a never-ending discipline. It is a refuse to lose pursuit. It is a wake-up call every morning to waste no day. Now here's your hosts, Brian Burton and Nate Minnick.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Waste No Day podcast. Your hosts, Nate and Brian, hanging out with you again. Looking forward to kicking off your week with another great episode. This time, we are bringing on author and speaker Jason Nemes. You might have heard him before on Wiser Wednesdays if you catch those. If not, you're going to be in for a treat today as we invite him on the podcast to talk about making an impact in your life and so much more. We're very excited to have him come on here, and we're going to have a great conversation with him. He has a great story to tell, as well as he's now in the roofing space. And so we'll try to ask a little bit about that also. Before we do, though, it's time for us to dig into a little bit of an introduction ourselves. And we're going to start off with a quote from Brian.
Where you currently are in life is a direct result of your daily actions, also known as your code of behavior over the last 1 to 5 years. Don't like where you are? Change your code. Jason Nemes.
Okay. And what Brian's hinting at there is Jason's book, which is appropriately titled The Code that he's talking about there. And I read that book the other weekend. It's a nice read and really goes into the detail that we won't have time to do on today's show, but really good story and a lot of good impactful points about how his decisions, not only on the negative side, but of course on the positive side, had great impact on his life and where he's at now, especially with his trajectory. But good stuff starting us off there, Brian. Always appreciate quote from the guest.
Yeah, we need to do more of that, especially when we don't have a guest. We'll just drop one of our quotes.
Quote yourself.
I feel like if there was really a fan of Waste No Day, you in the driver's seat over there beside us, someone would just kind of scroll through a bunch of episodes and just make up some quotes by the hosts. Not when I quote someone else, which happens about 25 times an episode. But I do always give them credit because I don't want to be one of these plagiarizing dudes that pretends he's making up quotes or just changes one word of the quote and then pretends it's his. Even Alex Hormozy does this from time to time. And, the guys like him, they post 30, 40 times a day. I'm quite sure it's not him posting it. It's just a social media team and they'll change 2 words and say Alex Hormozy. But yeah, I give credit where it's due. But, in the span of an hour and a half conversation per week for the last 4.5 years, you and I had to throw out some nice quotes just in the middle of a conversation that if someone was looking, they could find something cool to make a
I'm
post
sure
out
AI
of.
will fix that,
Yeah. So
at some point.
I should just put all the transcripts of the episodes into ChatGPT and tell them to come up with our best 25 quotes.
They wouldn't be right.
All right. Somebody is welcome to do that. Tank gonna be me because that sounds like a lot of work. But glad to have.
Brian, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
True story. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
Michael Scott. Yeah. See, that's what we need to do. Then it's all fair,
Yeah. I think me quoting really smart people has made me seem smarter than I am. I've been doing a lot of traveling this year. I've been on more flights in 2025 than I have the rest of my life put together.
Wow.
I've been on a lot of planes this year. And I'm meeting a lot of people, and a lot of the people have been listening to the show for years. And I'm getting somewhere with this, which is, I think that the fact that I read a smart person's quote to start every episode and then quote smarter people than me all throughout the episode, which I always do. Makes me seem smarter than I am. So I often think, I was at Home Service Freedom a few weeks ago in Vegas, meeting a lot of people and speaking there at Tommy Mello's event. And I met a lot of people who've been fans of the show for a long time. And then last week I was in Illinois at Covenant Plumbing with my friends Delane and Lori Stickling, and their awesome team. That was a great time. And a few of them were big fans of the show for a while. And I always think the same thing, usually on the flight home. It's where it sets in. Like, you can't be that good, the low self-esteem just squares up and starts kicking me between the legs the whole flight home. But I start thinking, like, the saying, never meet your heroes because you're going to be disappointed. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I'm exactly what they thought, maybe even better. 10 being they expected like Marcus Aurelius, and they got somewhere between like Pee Wee Herman and a brick, right? Is what they actually ended up with in terms of. Yeah, I never get an answer to that question, but I do wonder, because I know me quoting all these smart people and you hearing it from my voice probably makes you think I'm pretty smart, but then you have to meet me and then we have some conversation. And it's like, nope, I'm just quoting smart people, right?
Yeah, well, what's that? That's another saying about if you keep your mouth shut, nobody knows you're the fool, but as soon as you open it up,
the fool is thought
you
wise.
remove all doubt.
Until he opens his yeah.
There we go.
Anyway, we got a great person, a driven person, a builder of teams and human beings on the show today. Joined us for Wiser Wednesday last week. I'm pumped to get him on because he's got a great story, not unsimilar to mine. His when you hear somebody who's got a story somewhat similar to your own, it strikes a different chord. I will say he's just more motivating and driven, and he amps me up. I doubt I amp him up. You know what I mean?
Pee Wee Herman over here. Yeah, we know.
I go brick. My brick personality comes out, but I find him to be very motivating and very inspiring. And I was at A1 garage door this morning, took our new VP of Ops, Danny Jones, and Ethan, my son, our new apprentice, and Kyle Brewer. I still don't know what he does exactly, but like marketing / office manager.
So kind.
Yeah, it was when we were at Mr. Sparky here in Phoenix training. I bring all the Sparkies and 1 hours and Ben Franklin's in Phoenix together once a month, and we train together. We eat some breakfast, play some cornhole, role play, and just get to know each other and get better together. And A1's like right across the street. It's like a quarter mile away. So we swung by so Danny and Tommy could meet. And it was pretty cool because they were having their monthly technician graduation ceremony. Like, if you live in Saginaw, Michigan, and you want to go work for the Saginaw A1, if there is one, I have no idea. You will be flown to Phoenix. You will be put up in the apartment complex that Tommy owns. And I'm sure leases out to A1. And then you will spend a month going through their training course, which is freaking ridiculous. We got to get him on here soon again and talk about his training center and all the things they do in that place. And you do ride-alongs with hitters and take all these tests at the end. And then you have a graduation ceremony. And I posted I don't know if you saw it today. I posted some short videos of us at A1 and having a blast with those guys. But man, so motivating. It's just such a blast to be at. But yeah, I was telling Tommy about our episode with Jason and coming up and like how the Wiser Wednesday was. And I'm like, yeah, you're going to love this cat. But I don't remember how I got onto that tangent. Bro, you want to cut our losses, just start over? Yeah, motivation, baby.
Jason's very motivation. Yeah.
And I was, Tommy's very motivating to me. And I'm just like, this is a perfect fit. You guys will have a blast together. I got to connect you guys. But yeah, so been pumped about having him on Waste No Day since he came on Wiser Wednesday with us because that was a great Wiser Wednesday. We were all amped and raring to go. It's a lot better when you get a guy like him at 7 a.m. than what we're going to do tonight, which is 9 p.m. for 8:30 p.m. for you. But either way, it's good stuff. Can't wait to listen to it. Even forget the interview. I can't wait to hear it in my car.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm excited to listen to as well, besides Jason, is the review of the week, Brian. We take a moment out of each show to highlight somebody who's taken the time to highlight us. We always appreciate those of you who have done it. If you haven't done it yet, maybe this week will be the one. Maybe Jason will motivate you to change your code of behavior. And maybe you would be kind enough to do that. That'd be awesome. And it's a big deal to us because Apple and the technology gods that be, they see numbers of reviews and quality of reviews, and that makes a difference. So we'd sure appreciate it if you drop us a 5-star review and let us know why you love the show. Brian, who do we got today?
Life changing. 5 stars. 2 months of only listening to this podcast in my truck. Within that time, I have tripled my opportunity average and income. I've become a better teacher, communicator, and all-around professional. My family and I owe these guys more than they could ever imagine. Thank you for all the good work you guys do. The trades and home service professionals are better every day because of this pod. Peace and love. A. Taylor, A1 MKE. Oh, well, that was convenient.
Wow, it's like you tried it.
A. Taylor, A1 Garage Doors, Milwaukee. That would be Austin Taylor from A1.
Shout out Austin, man. It was very kind of you.
Yeah, buddy. Austin's awesome. He did a video with Tommy, and then Tommy tagged me in it. And his video, it was so cool. He's just like, how are you? Like, you're killing it. You stay so positive. Like, you're on fire. Like, what's your secret? And he just goes, oh, man, any apprentice who rides with me knows it's waste no day in my truck all day, every day. It's like, yes. Loved it. Yeah. So I was in Milwaukee training Tommy's leadership team at their leadership retreat. And Austin's manager, Joe, crying out loud, I'm pretty sure it was Joe, said that he's Austin's manager. I reposted the video, obviously, on every platform as many times as my thumb would let me. And he said, yeah, he'd love to meet you. And I said, well, freaking call him. Like, we were standing near a bar. The thing had just let out in the evening. And I'm like, call the dude, man. I think he might have FaceTimed him even. And we got him on the phone. And I said, bro, if you can get some space before whatever time I had to leave for the airport in the morning, like, let's just go down to the hotel restaurant and kick it. And he freaking did, man. Came down and saw me, and we got to hang out. It was a good time. But yeah, exactly what he said on that review is what he said in person. So I love the kid. I was just like, if you ever want to be a plumber, I'm willing to sacrifice my relationship with Tommy and Igno. Yeah, he's such a great dude, man. He just seems like he's a great addition to any team.
That's great. Well, this is going to be a great addition to the repertoire of Waste No Day episodes. And it's time now for us to put Mr. Jason Nemes in your passenger seat. Our guest today is Mr. Jason Nemes. He is a college graduate, best-selling author, TEDx speaker, and top 1% in network marketing. He's actually gotten into the roofing space about 19 months ago, and he started Summit Solutions Roofing and Construction 13 months ago, and so far on track for 8 figures. This year, he also came out with the mentorship program, Winners Only Roofing Academy. We'll definitely have to ask him about that. And as I mentioned, he is a best-selling author. His book, The Code of Behavior, 5 Essentials to Unlocking a Life of Extreme Inspiration, Unlimited Confidence, and Endless Victory, is a good read. We're excited to have him on here. Welcome, Jason.
Appreciate you, Nate. Excited to be here and grateful for the opportunity. And Brian, of course.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Pumped to have you on. We did a Wiser Wednesday together last week, and
it was great. I enjoyed it.
I always, when it's like we're doing a Wiser Wednesday with someone that we don't like, it was the first time we met was on screen for Wiser Wednesday. It's like, we'll schedule the Waste No Day episode after that. So we make sure it's a fit. Otherwise, I'll just be like, let's reschedule. We'll just kick that can down the road forever. Sucks for all the people listening who have had that happen. Now they know what time it is.
They're like, I knew it. I knew something was off there.
I'm going to stop texting that dude.
Yeah.
So it was fantastic. It was a great Wiser Wednesday. My team here in Phoenix was pumped about it. Super ready to go. Got a lot of good feedback. While I was on it, I was getting a lot of good feedback. So it just made sense to do an episode, and the story's fantastic. I'd love for you to dig in a little bit on the TEDx thing because...
Thank you. It's really cool how the TEDx thing came to be. Man, I always tell people, get in the room. Like, we've heard it sometimes here and there, but it's so important to do anything that you can to get in the room because the domino effect that can happen. That's how I got TEDx. Like, there's a lot of things going around about paying to be on the stage. I got asked to apply.
Nice. Oh, yeah. People are paying to do. Okay. I mean, it makes sense. Like,
yeah,
if Nate wrote a book tomorrow, it would make sense for him to cough up a little, or the publisher to cough up a little.
People are paying. I mean, you can apply online to all the different cities. And so they have a specific theme for every stage across the world. And then if your story aligns or like your message aligns with the theme, then assuming you're a solid pick compared to the others, right? Then they'll choose you. So yeah, but I mean, again, I was asked to apply. So I had a pretty good idea that I was going to get selected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any idea what that process looks like?
Selection process? No, I mean, it's just they review all the applicants and they see who they feel would be the best. They do due diligence. They will look at your social media. They will pay attention to you in speaking, although there are people that haven't ever spoken and have been on stage, but yet a lot of them have to like make a video and send it in. There's just different processes for different areas and people, but the guy, so I'll explain what happened, or like how it all came about. I paid for a high-level ticket at a mastermind event in Salt Lake City area, Utah, okay? Because I wanted to get, it was like Ed Milet, Andy Frisilla, certain people that were going to be at that house and then the event. So I wanted to be there with them. But it's like, if you're going to do that, make sure you're extremely intentional about talking to everybody there. Like, don't pay all that money and then just go and hide in a corner. Like, pay the money and be intentional about meeting as many people as you can, because you never know who that one person is going to be. So at the guy's house, Keaton Hoskins, I met somebody, and I met a lot of people. That's why I became friends with Sean Whalen and some other guys. But I met a guy named Dusky, and he and I exchanged info, social media. So we started talking over the next few months. Then he had an idea to put an event together, and there were, some of us spoke. He asked me to come speak at the event. Emily Ford, who's a decent friend of mine, she speaks all over, absolutely kills it, top 10 in isogenics, phenomenal. Her and her now husband, they both spoke, and some other people. But I mean, I had no idea the organizer of the TEDx out there, he actually had a section, but he also was in the audience watching and listening to all the speakers. And so when I got done, he came and talked to me, and he was like, man, your story is phenomenal and you're a pretty good speaker. And he was like, I run TEDx out here. I would like you to apply to the next one coming up. And it was just like, I paid to be at the house. And it wasn't salty. A cheap ticket. And I wasn't making the money that I am now then, right?
Funny how that works out, isn't it? It's almost like it's an investment. Almost.
I'm telling you, I put it on a credit card. I mean, it is a tax write-off, but I put it on a credit card. I went, was intentional, met somebody, got me on stage here. This person sees me on stage, runs TEDx, invites me, I get accepted. And now I'm a published TEDx speaker. So
nice. That looks good on the resume.
It looks really good on the resume. Yeah, I appreciate it. So extremely grateful for that experience. And I don't really get nervous a lot, but I mean, my grandma was in the audience, my mom, my now wife, she was my girlfriend at the time. But my grandma was like, and I'm not going to say what my grandmother said because it's somewhat inappropriate. But she was like, I'm old and I traveled far. This is before I took the stage. She's like, I'm old and I traveled far for this. Don't F it up. And I was like, thanks a lot for the advice, Grandma. Like,
appreciate
no
it,
pressure.
man.
And people are watching it all over the country because you could, that was live streamed also, so people could watch them. It was like 200 something people in the audience. So, but yeah, it was a great experience for sure.
There's got to be, and I'm sure you'll cover this part, but it's got to take a little bit of nerves off the table once you've already died. Where you're like, what are you going to do? Kill me? I don't need to be nervous anymore, right?
You would think, but I knew my mentors were watching. I knew my newer girlfriend was in the audience, my mom, my grandma. Yeah. So, and you have to abide by their guidelines or you don't get published. They have an entire review team. So not all of the speeches get put on the platform. If you go over the time, you're automatically not on there. There's certain things that, yeah. Yeah. So everybody had 18 minutes and I planned for 15 is what and I pretty much I could pretty much recite my whole speech. I mean, it was going in my mind as I was going to bed, and like my subconscious was just nonstop. Is all I could think about. But again, it was a great experience.
It certainly sounds like it, Jason, and Brian sort of alluded to it, but let's get to the meat of the matter, which is there was a day outside of that TEDx event. There was another day that was very impactful in your life. Why don't you jump right into the deep end on that piece of the story, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. So, by the way, my title for the TED Talk is Death Gave Me a PhD on Life.
I love that.
And the PhD stands for Purpose, Happiness, and Discipline. And I go into each of those a little bit more in detail, how I applied it to my life, maybe what I thought it was to my realization after the moment. But yeah, we'll get into it. So Easter Sunday, 2021. It was so April 4th, 2021. Beautiful day, beautiful Sunday. And my girlfriend at the time, this is an ex, again, this is years back, 4 years ago. So we went to the gym. A buddy of mine wanted me to meet up with him and another one of his friends who's also a friend of mine to get a workout in. So we drove out there to the Lifetime out there. I was living in Austin, Texas at the time. Got out there, hit a leg workout. We went downstairs and played some basketball. Mind you, I was a little bit on the heavier side. I was in the 240s. And I was going to start my cut about April 15th or so.
How tall are you?
So I'm like 6'1". Yeah. So I was like 6'1", 243, I believe it was. So we're playing basketball and I'm feeling like sluggish and tired, more than normal. And I'm in my mind, it's probably a combination, but in my mind, it was because I wasn't doing cardio, because I was more so bulking and I was eating a lot, 5,000 to 6,000 calories a day. So I was more on the sluggish side playing basketball. I'm heavy. I like to walk around at 210, 215. That's where I feel light, elusive, athletic. And so after we got done playing, we were all sitting over by the bleachers just kind of talking and catching up because my two buddies, I really hadn't seen them in a little bit. And so I noticed that my heart was like my blood pressure, heart rate was not coming back to normal. And after 5 to 10 minutes, everything levels out and you're good again. So I noticed that didn't happen. So start to walk outside of the gym. I start feeling a pretty intense headache coming on. I start to feel some pains in my chest. I start to feel a little bit of numbness going on my left arm. And I'm not really thinking too much of it just yet. Get in the car, start driving. After about 5 minutes, symptoms are getting a little worse. pull over to the gas station to get some Advil or whatever it was. There was some kind of aspirin for the headache because it was getting so bad. I mean, it was some excruciating pain. And we start driving, and I looked at the person I was with, and I was like, yo, something is not right. And can they see me on here, by the way? Or is this all audio? Is there a
straight
video?
audio? We don't publish the video.
But for y'all to see, like, so I'll try to give a visual. From the bodybuilding days, if my neck is a little bit like to the left, I'll start to kind of pinch a nerve a little bit, right? So the arm will start to feel a little numb. It's not as bad as it used to be with some treatment, but so I am in the car, angling my neck to my right shoulder with my hand on the steering wheel, thinking maybe I'm pinching my nerve. Well, that wasn't it. Pain was getting worse, having a harder time breathing. And the person I was with, she goes, does it feel like the first time you had a heart attack? And I was like, no. And I keep driving. And then after a few moments, I was like, you know what? Actually, it does. But this time, the symptoms, before the first one that I had, the symptoms went away like after 45 seconds completely. It's like I was perfectly normal. So I just thought it's like something weird happened. And so I was like, I want to go to an urgent care, or like I want to go somewhere. So she's like, let's go. So I thank God it was Easter. Like straight up, if it wasn't Easter, I wouldn't be here today. Statistically, most likely I would not be here today, because come to find out, I had 100% blockage at my Widowmaker. Wow. And yeah, statistically, just by that, I shouldn't be here. But there was no traffic, zero. So I put in the destination. I got there in 5 minutes. Mind you, if you're having a heart attack or a stroke, and I always say this because I didn't know it, and it might save somebody's life one day, you cannot go to a regular urgent care. You have to go to an ER urgent care or the ER at the hospital, or they cannot treat you. I had no idea. By the grace of God, it is not luck. It is by the grace of God. I chose, and I randomly clicked the closest one. It wasn't like, oh, ER urgent care, click. I just, whichever one was the closest, I clicked it. 5 minutes away. I got there in 5 minutes. I walked in. They're like, sir, how can we help you? I said, man, I'm pretty sure I'm having a heart attack. And I always joke around about this, but like, he asked me to see ID, and I didn't have my wallet on me. I left it in the car. And in my mind, I'm like, dude, I just told you I think I'm having a heart attack. Like,
if we could circle back to this, the detail stuff.
Like, get me to the back. We'll deal with the ID later, bro. Like, come on. So anyway, I had to go back out to the car, get my wallet, come back and give him my ID. They did have the decency to let me fill out paperwork later on. That was pretty nice of them. But yeah, so they get me to the back. Man, I probably had like every single person in that clinic in my room. They're all doing different things, right? And there was one specific individual, lady named Debbie, and she was handing me different things to chew, to swallow. And I'm communicating with her how I'm feeling. It's like, okay, the pain is getting worse. Okay, it's feeling a little bit better. It's getting worse. But then I got to the point, and I remember it like it was yesterday, where my ability to breathe was lessening and lessening. Like I couldn't take good breaths, and they got shorter and shorter. And I just remember being like, I feel like I'm about to die. Y'all got to do something. Please help me. God, please help me. And I was out. It's like I went to sleep, which I took it as my faith wasn't strong enough. So things have definitely shifted in my life since that day. But they said I was out for about 40 seconds. I flatlined. They defibbed me. They did CPR, and they brought me back to life. Crazy thing about Debbie, the lady that did the defibbing and the CPR, is she normally worked at the hospital at the ER specializing in heart attacks. Wow. And she happened to be the nurse that was there that day. And so they woke me up, but at first I couldn't move my body or open my eyes. I just heard my name, like Jason. And of course, like at that moment that, you get the beep, you get the, like they could see on the thing and the beeping, like they got me back, whatever that meter is, like beep, beep, So they're saying my name, and I just remember hearing my name. I couldn't open my eyes, move my body, nothing. And then I opened my eyes, and they're like, "Welcome back, sir." she just saved your life. And I looked to my right because it was a guy doctor, and I was like, what? And he's like, welcome back, sir. She just saved your life. And I'm kind of like, I was just dead for 40 seconds, like out, heartbeat, not zero pulse, nothing. So I'm kind of dumbfounded, like, what? And you feel like you're really drunk. Like I woke up and I felt like everything was so dizzy and like you're confused. And I'm just like, huh, you saved my life? What? Like, thank you. Anyway, they had all the paramedics there ready to take me to the hospital. So when I woke up, they all lifted me up, put me in on the stretcher. They got me into the ambulance. They rushed me to the hospital, and they got me prepped for surgery. And they did an emergency surgery on me. They put a stent in. They were done in about 15 minutes. And then off to ICU I went. And I'll never forget being in ICU, afraid to go to sleep. Like I was so tired.
Yeah.
I was exhausted, just drained. And I was afraid to like, they could see me. I'm like opening my eyes, like why, like fighting going to sleep. Because the last time I closed my eyes, I died. And they're like, they could see me. They're like, sir, just so you know, we're watching you 24/7. Like you will never be in this room without somebody paying attention to you and all your vitals and all the machines. We are watching you full force. So go.
So you canceled the DoorDash for the pre-workout and
yeah, I canceled the DoorDash. That's exactly right. Yeah. So I went to sleep. But then also I remember like sitting in ICU and just looking, and I have a whole different appreciation for nature, which is really interesting and fascinating. I mean, I was sitting in ICU, crying my eyes out, like looking out the window. It gets me emotional. Just grateful to be alive.
Yeah. And what's so interesting about that story, besides the obvious like miraculous intervention and outcome that you experienced,
resurrection on Easter.
Yeah,
that's pretty interesting.
And I was released from the hospital on the third day.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like, I would say that's kind of like the middle of your story, right? And sometimes you hear these stories about how somebody was really choosing a bad way and a bad path, and then this like super crazy thing happened and they 180'd from there. You had already experienced a significant amount of change and direction in your life, even up to that point. And yet, even from where you'd already made those changes, it still catapulted you even farther. So, like, let's start kind of back at the beginning, Jason. Like, what was some of your upbringing and like, what was your trajectory in life and some of the decisions that, well, that you accounted for in your book? And we'll get to that in a little bit. But some of the things that, gave you a bit of that rough side in the past.
So I come from, I would say, a good family. So my mom and my dad are both incredible. They split when I was 1, but they didn't use like one another, or they didn't use me like to get back at the other parent kind of thing. There was no like, well, then you can't see your son. Like my dad was there, and I still thank him to this day. My dad was there to get me every weekend, minimum Sunday. And then as I got older, hey, mom, dad wants to pick me up to go play basketball. Cool, be home by dark. You have school tomorrow. There was never, you can't go with your dad, ever. My dad never missed a child support payment. And man, I'm so freaking grateful. But as we always hear, circle of influence. Who are your friends? Show me your friends. I'll show you your future. Who you hanging out with? What are those people doing? Are they up to no good? Are they up to good? And unfortunately, I got around people that weren't up to very much good. And you see a lot of times those are the ones that have all the good looking girls around and the popular kids and drinking and doing drugs. And you feel like you want to be a part of that group.
In their 20s, that is. But wait till you see them in their 40s.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's funny. I got told once that I was the most improved from high school. I'm like, that could be interpreted a couple different ways, but because I don't care about high school, I'm going to take it as a compliment, right?
Yeah, it's a compliment.
You're telling me I'm way better now, and high school's years ago. So yeah, I started getting around the wrong people, and then I started bartending, and that I was around a lot of the wrong people. I had a lot of drug dealers as clients, and they would give me drugs. And yeah, I mean it. And then I went to college. So I graduated from 23 to 27. I went back to college. I have a BBA in economics from the University of North Texas. So a business degree specializing in economics, got into the corporate world and realized that wasn't for me. Y'all, I would actually take lunch breaks and go do drugs and then come back. And then go to the bathroom and do drugs and come back and get back on the phones. It's kind of like the Wolf of Wall Street type stuff, And it's like, you watch all these movies, and I don't know if y'all paid attention, but I do because, I lived it for a long time, but they make it look like so much fun and that life is just awesome when you're on drugs.
Yeah.
And it is the fastest, best way to ruin your life if you're able to even get out alive. I'll tell you this, I live in the Dallas area. 3 weeks ago, there were 27 people that died from a bad batch of cocaine that had fentanyl in it. It was going around. People were like selling off the same batch. And I knew one of the guys, and he had just opened a new, really trendy hot spot in the Dallas area. And he snorted one line and he passed away. Rest in peace. But that's all it takes. I lost my little brother to a drug overdose, a heroin overdose.
Yeah.
And he was 28, so much life ahead of him. In one bat, he never woke up. And so
what's even more than, and obviously that's a risk taken with these types of drugs. But
every time
I went through rehab myself in 2011. And what I'll say about this fast life and fun life that you see on the movies, like, it's not even fun while you're doing it. It's not fun. You're just chasing not being sick all the time.
The first 2 or 3 lines, I was having a blast. But then it's like, you never stop. You keep going. And then you're up till the next day. You haven't eaten anything. And it's like, you're miserable for days. And then you're all down on yourself like, what am I doing? I'm better than this. I'm not doing this anymore. And then the next day again. And then rinse and repeat. And it's like, I look back and first of all, I'm beyond grateful that I'm alive with how many batches I did and didn't get fentanyl, right? And just, I know how I would do it, and the fact that I'm still alive, I was able to beat it. Now I can speak on it and hopefully help people get past that and show that you don't need that. And life looks like I get high on life now. I get high on an impact. I get high on speaking to people and providing value and seeing people win as a result of, something I say or a speech with them or coaching or them working for my company, whatever it is. Like, that is what brings me so much fulfillment now, is helping other people and their lives. And it all came down to being with the wrong people. When you're hanging around a bunch of people doing drugs, you're probably going to be doing drugs. Yeah. When you're hanging around a bunch of people that are like, if you bring that around, you're not going to be around anymore. And they're high level individuals and they're winners and they're lions. Eagles don't hang out with pigeons.
You go into far more detail about that. And of course, you interweave your story into practical application of how things changed in your life. Your book is called The Code of Behavior: 5 Essentials to Unlocking a Life of Extreme Inspiration, Unlimited Confidence, and Endless Victory. And I enjoyed listening to it. I listened to it over the weekend.
Nice. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. It was really cool to hear your story. And when I got to kind of the parts that were more about what you were just detailing there with the drug life and everything like that, the question that I wanted to ask you coming out of that was, do you think everybody has a drug?
A vice/drug? Yes.
Well, so not even like necessarily in the negative form, right? But a drug. So, and you kind of went into that a little bit, that, you sort of changed perhaps your addiction. Like, you went from like a negative addiction to more of that positive addiction, to the inspiration piece. But is that still a drug? And using that definition, maybe drug isn't the right word to use.
Yeah.
But like,
sure.
How can we apply that today? And like, does everybody have a drug? And if it's a bad drug, how do we make that change?
Well, we all have 24 hours in a day and we're going to spend or invest that time. And so you got to get rid of the bad habits and support it with good habits. And you just got to find out what that is for you. And idle time is the devil time. You definitely want to fill that calendar, because if you're sitting around doing nothing or bored, that's where you have room to mess things up in your life. When you're staying busy, locked in, being productive, you don't have time to be doing a bunch of nonsense. But I mean, you got to get around the right people. You got to, seek and you shall find. There's information all over. I mean, you can literally pull out your phone and find anything. You can find out anything. You can learn anything from your phone and all the different resources that we have. But yeah, I found purpose. So when I was like really addicted to the drugs again, I mean, I had multiple six figure residual income from network marketing that I was a part of. So, I mean, before I even get out of bed, I'm making that point like 35K a month. I mean, anywhere from 15 to 35,000 a month. It just kept growing. And I'm like, because I had a great team that I had recruited when I was focused. It's like, I'd be focused and I'd kill it. Then I'd drift and my life would just fall apart. And then I'll get back focused and things would be going good. And then I'll drift and my life would fall apart. So then I'm like, well, what happens if I don't drift anymore? Like, what if I just stay consistent doing the things I know to do? In my TED Talk, I said I was so disciplined in the wrong things that it literally killed me. What if I just stayed focused and disciplined on the things that provide me value in life? What would my life look like on that note? I was so good at doing the bad that it killed me. So obviously I'm really good, right?
We started this part of the conversation with like, what are the bad habits and kind of getting rid of the bad habits. But I would say,
yeah,
I've always found, especially coming out of addiction, both opiates and then several years later, alcohol, that it works a lot better if you find the good habits that you want to have in your life and the things you need to be doing, and then work those in, because an addiction or whatever, a bad situation, relationship, habit is, your life's like a table on four legs. And if you just kick a leg out, you're just going to fall over and grab that leg back, and usually a lot bigger. But if you start adding in the things you want to do, you're going to squeeze out the things that you don't want to be doing, especially if it's like staying up all night, partying, doing drugs, video games, whatever it is, chasing the opposite sex. When you get up in the morning, you start working out, you get around disciplined, highly motivated, successful people, you don't have time for that stuff at night and then trying to be anything in the morning. So just start listing out those things you want to be doing and start adding them to your life, and watch how quickly you'll squeeze the other stuff out. Now, if you're upside down in drug addiction, it might need a little bit more than that. But if it's video games or something, you can squeeze that out pretty easily.
For sure. Man, I quit cold turkey too. Like, for me, enough was enough. And I started taking myself out of the equation. I'm like, my mom already lost a son. She can't lose another son. Every time I touch this drug, I risk losing my life. Like, it's not a freaking game anymore. I mean, like, for what? Like, you're so good at so many things. And that's not to toot my own horn, but like, I know that I'm pretty dang skilled at a lot of things and I can help a lot of people. Let's just redirect what we're doing day to day, like you were saying. So it's like non-negotiables, man. I did the whole Live Hard program. I've done 75 Hard like 3 or 4 times, phase 1, but then I also did the full Live Hard program. And it's just being committed to your commitments and really dialing in and just not making excuses and getting around other winners, getting around people where drugs are not allowed in the group. And that's the code, right? The code of behavior. Friend groups have a code. And when the ones that are doing drugs, like, you got to be doing it with them, or they're going to make fun of you. They're going to say all these little, these little side comments. Like, man, forget them. That, to me, those are losers. I used to be that person, so I can say it. You want to hang around a bunch of losers not doing anything with their life? Cool, go hang out with them. You want to hang out with winners? Come over here. You see what we're doing, how we're living. We're inspiring people. We got nice jewelry and, beautiful women, but we're also providing value and making an impact on the world. You want to be a loser or you want to be a winner? You want to be your best in life, or do you want to freaking waste your life and be 60 and 70 and then be the guy that was like, oh, I could have done that and I wish I would have, or whatever? Or do you want to actually have all the things that you aspire to have? Because you see my story, I just made a few different changes, a few different ways to live my life. And now look at where my life is at. And I'm a 7-figure earner. And my goal is to have a $100 million company in the next 2 to 3 years. By the way, we got our first sale in Oklahoma today. So it's like, I just told you, I went to Ohio, Oklahoma, Arizona, Arkansas, and Texas, all in 13 months. It's crazy how fast things can happen. Like, man. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I was so crazy about part. Like, I was so good at that. Just shift your focus.
If you want to shout out the salesperson who closed the Oklahoma sale, shout him out.
My man, Derek.
All right, Derek. We
Yeah.
might have to work our way up to a Derek episode of Waste No Day.
Man, Derek Staggs. Yeah. And what's crazy, we met on social media, man. Social media is such a powerful tool. I've never even met him in person. Yeah, look.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Nice picture of him.
Yeah, got a pic of him holding up the paperwork for his first sale.
The contingency. Yeah, man. I love it. Like, and then my guy in Ohio is like, hey, I got 3 killers. Can I bring them over? I'm like, absolutely. Like,
we'll find room.
And that's how you get to the 100 million. Like, I got guys that are probably do 3 million alone. One of my guys that just got in Arizona, he himself did 5.5 million last year. He's going to hit like 10 million himself this year. It's like, it's just numbers. I had 4,500 people on my Herbalife downline at one point. Like, I'm a master at recruiting and culture and loving on people and getting people hyped up to go freaking crush their goals and think big and stay focused and locked in. I get hyped up. I usually don't do podcasts at night because I won't go to sleep now.
Nate and I might be up for a while now too.
Man, I just get so fired up because I love the life that I'm living and creating. I just love it. And I deal with so much stress that comes my way, but I thrive in chaos. I know what I'm building, and I know this is just the beginning of the problems, aka growth opportunities. If you don't have problems and obstacles, you're not growing. You are in stagnant mode or declining. Because if you're growing, you have to overcome a lot of challenges. But again, they're growth opportunities.
See, about that, Jason, so challenges, and I want to focus there for a minute. You devoted an entire chapter to the concept of discipline, but really I thought it was thematic throughout the entire book of what you're talking about. And you're pointing to some tattoos on your neck. I'll let you explain that.
Discipline.
I know. I'll let you explain that in a minute. But like, you just kind of spoke there eloquently about the fact that you were super disciplined by nature. You just had to redirect the discipline. Like, you were the best at doing drugs. You were the best at partying. You were the best at running a double life and like all that stuff. You were really good. And so you just had to shift the drug, which I'm not making light of that. Like, that was incredibly difficult and like, filled with all kinds of intervention and God-driven purpose and everything else. And that's incredible. And on the other side of it, you were able to exercise that intense level of discipline now for good, now for inspiration, now for all the right things, right? What if somebody is struggling with the actual discipline? Like, they're not on the extremes. They're more in the middle, right? They're not passionate. They're not disciplined. They feel just kind of sluggish. Like there's nothing that gets them up, or, they perpetually start things but never finish things. Like that type of personality that's in the middle, you had to be redirected. But like once you got redirected, the same amount of energy you had on the negative side of the equation got put on the positive side of the equation, off to the top of the mountain you went. What about that person who's in the middle, who just feels stagnant and like,
you're describing the person
dead man walking.
You wouldn't describe this person as a loser, but you also wouldn't describe this person as a winner. So where is that fire going to come from?
Those people probably lack purpose. They probably don't believe in themselves. They probably have self-esteem issues and confidence issues. And usually it's because of the people that they're around. They've been beat up their entire lives. They think they're not worth it. They've been told and they're focused on negativity and they don't see things through.
And I would add that their circle, they say,
yeah, that's what I was.
You're the average of the 5 people you're closest to. Their circle is, when I say small, I don't mean few people. I mean, doesn't accomplish much, because it's said that it's not because you hang around with them that you don't go anywhere. It's because that's who you compare yourself to. So typically that person is probably doing pretty well in their circle, but that circle is very mediocre. So that can be an issue.
And sometimes people are afraid of the success, and they're afraid that if they have success, they'll lose those friends. To add to that, Brian, they don't want to feel like an outcast. And if they start doing better than those friends, then jealousy, envy, hate starts to play a factor. And then a lot of times that distance will happen.
And
but
real.
Like, you look at my best friends, man, we cheer each other on. Like, we continue setting the bar for, like, my best friend just bought a $1.3 million car. Like,
yeah.
when I was in Miami with him, he was looking at a $5 million yacht, and he's my best friend.
What car is it?
A Senna, McLaren Senna.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, hypercar.
You ever hear? You know, there's another half of that equation. You ever hear Alex Hormozi talk about the lonely chapter that everyone will go through?
Yeah, people are afraid to be by themselves.
So that he explains the lonely chapter as you've done a little bit too much to fit in with your old crew. They're squeezing you out and you're walking away from them, but you haven't done enough to fit in with your next crew.
With the new crew. I love it.
They're a little too successful and you don't quite fit. And I've been very recently in that.
And that's why they're not the winner or the loser yet.
Right. Yeah. They're just kind of in between the two.
They're right in between because they're like, they're hovering.
Yeah, he calls it the lonely chapter, but he says that understanding that you have to look at that chapter, understanding that it's a chapter. There's a next chapter.
Right.
And you have to go through it. It's a mandatory process.
And you're one decision away. You're one decision away from the winner or the loser side.
Yeah.
But that's I want to start listening. I used to listen to Hormozi all the time. He's so brilliant on his delivery.
Yeah, dude. He makes me not want to podcast anymore. I'm like, I just want to tell the audience, just go listen to him. What are you doing listening to us?
He's a brilliant mind. He's definitely got a gift. But yeah, man, it's so true. I've lost a lot of friends along the way, and you love people from a distance. I'll tell you this, I don't even talk to my sister anymore, which is like, she unfollowed me on social media. Some people, man, they live a negative life and there's nothing that you can do. And I love my sister with all my heart, but man, it's probably a season, and I've tried reaching out, and my wife put in rules for my wedding. Nobody that my wife, like, if she didn't know you weren't allowed to come to the wedding. We kept it very tight knit. And she was like, well, I have to have somebody drive me. And I was like, well, I'll pay for you to take the bus. She's like, I don't want to do that. So my wife was like, well, then she can't come. Like, I don't even have my best friend coming. I'm not going to have your sister bring somebody that I don't know to my wedding when my best friend's not even coming. I was like, that's fair. Yeah, cool. And I think that pissed my sister off. But like,
yeah, I could see that.
And I told my dad when I was started network marketing, because like he would start sending me articles, and I'm like, look, if you continue to do this, I'm not going to speak to you. This is your warning. Stop sending me negative articles. I see something that nobody else does. So my mentor, when I started, he made 1.3 million the year before. He's making over $100,000 a month. I was like, yo. And he and I knew each other for many, many years. I'm like, stop sending me negative stuff. And then, of course, like, I start making six figures, and he's like, yeah, thanks for not listening to me, kind of thing. Like, man, I'm so proud of you. You're doing such an amazing job. And that's another thing, man. That's a whole nother topic. When you start elevating and you start doing things in life, a lot of people aren't going to see your vision. They're not going to understand the conversations that you have and the success that other people have shown you, as long as it's legit. There are a lot of scammers and fake going out there. But like, I knew for sure that it was the real deal. And so I did not listen to the noise. I didn't listen to the nonsense. I looked at it was all the people that I used to hang out with. Remember I said I lost a lot of friends, all the people in nightlife that I was drinking and doing drugs with at that time. When I started in that company, they all had something to say. I quit hanging out with like all of them because they didn't fit or match where I was headed. And then they would see me in town. Like, man, I see what you're doing. Like, oh, you're so lucky. And it's like, yeah, I'm lucky I didn't listen to you. All you did was talk crap about what I was doing and the vision I had.
How can I get money with you, bro?
Yeah, like, man, it's just. And then as you start having, like, I'm having, a good amount of success now. The haters on social media, I love them. Oh, man. They come out of the woodworks every day, just talking smack. Oh, man. But then it's like, and people like will share my stuff and talk crap. And then I'll have people that will say, hey, man, I saw a post, somebody was sharing it. I went to check you out, and I like what you're about. It's like, you're just promoting me, haters. But
yeah, keep it up. Keep posting the comments and getting it to all your friends' algorithms. We appreciate the boost.
Yeah,
the free
exactly.
boost. Yeah, I heard about you. I told you on Wiser Wednesday, I heard about you because we were looking to fill Q4 or the end of September and Q4 here of 2025 as we're recording this with Wiser Wednesdays. Wiser Wednesday, for those who don't know, winning insights, skills, and expertise for results. Wiser. It's just a 1 hour live free Zoom call where we bring in speakers like Jason, if I may be so bold. And I train for 10, 15 minutes, and then the speaker comes on and trains for 30, 40 minutes. And then we do a Q&A at the end of each one. And we bring in some pretty awesome guests. The next few weeks, we have Dan Antonelli, Kick Charge Creative, Tommy Mello. I wish I had the list in front of me, but this is what we do. Just every Wednesday, we do a free live Zoom training. We don't ask for anything, nothing. Anybody's welcome to join. Shoot us an email at service@wastenoday.net if you would like to be added to the list. It's just an invite system. We add your email to the calendar invite and you'll get the invite on Wednesday. But that's what we keep saying, what we mean when we keep saying Wiser Wednesday. But the way that I came across Jason is I asked my plumbing team, who are some people you guys would like to see on to fill up the rest of this year? And Jack Johnston and Eddie Rearman both said Jason Nemes. And I'm like,
shout out to y'all.
Yeah, I'm like, who's that? And they're like, Tatted Prez. And they sent me some of your Instagram videos, and I looked you up on Facebook, shot you a message, and got back at, I think, the next day, and we got you on Wiser Wednesday, now on Waste No Day. And that's exactly how it works. Is one of those guys saw a TikTok video of yours, and he shared it around to the team. Now a bunch of my team watches your videos and enjoys your content. So, yeah, appreciate it, man.
Well, I appreciate that. Shout out to you and to the team, man. It's you're one connection away. And that's why you put content out. You never know who's watching. You just never know.
Jason, your story is one of significance, not only from a personal aspect, but also because of the inspiration that you're doing now with other people. And I think it can be really summed up well in the title that you chose for your book, which is The Code of Behavior. Explain to us the concept behind the code of behavior, and then kind of maybe relay some of the code that you rewrote in your own life to drive different behaviors.
Yeah, so teachers have codes, friend groups have codes, military, like recruiters, there's codes. It's like this philosophy of how you're going to do things. And it's driven, and that will determine your behavior. And so I have a standard of greatness in my life. And pretty much every decision I make is based along those lines. And I understand having a drink here and there is not greatness, right? But there's a couple, I like to have like an old fashioned and a cigar, right? And I understand, again, that's not maybe the best thing per se to do, but that's like probably the worst. Every single day I wake up, and pretty much every day I go and I work out right when I wake up. Usually I get up around 6:15, 6:30 a.m. I'm taking my peptides, my tablets, my medicine for my heart, and drinking my water, getting my pre-workout made. I'm headed to the gym. I'm getting a good workout. I'm listening to a podcast, getting my mind right. I usually read something or listen to an audiobook potentially in the morning. And I like to do that earlier in the morning because then my days start getting crazy with all the calls, all the reps I've got across the multiple states. If I don't go work out early, I'm sitting there during a workout answering calls and text messages, and I don't really get a good workout in. So, but it's like I do that, get my workout done. I'm taking care of my health and my fitness in the morning. And then after that, usually I fast until like 1. But after that, it's work. The rest of the day, I am very conscious for the most part on the decisions that I make is it getting me closer to the goals that I want. Now, I will tell you this. At the cigar lounge, I have a buddy who owns a cigar lounge in Frisco, and he actually referred me my best job to date for a residential house. I made like $35,000 and I was at the house twice. So I'm very intentional where I'm at. When you go to high level cigar lounges in the private rooms, right? When you're with the members, they have nicer houses. So you get in there, you're just sipping one cocktail for the entire evening, smoking a cigar, having really good conversation. And I also got into a program where I represent some of the top insurance companies because I met a guy whose wife works for this insurance company, and she got me in touch with somebody else who got me into the program. So those are good places to be in, other high-level individuals. So
what's better than the place to be in is the mindset that you're just attacking your career and your sales funnel with, which is like not sitting in your garage or in your studio or your office or whatever, waiting for the phone to ring. Right. But you're out there creating work. And on social media, we've been talking a lot about this on our team. As we're in the Phoenix Valley, plenty of money here. Not a problem, right? No challenge with finding people with money here, but none of our team right now, and we have a couple working in that direction, or have set themselves apart on social media as like the expert in water treatment in the Phoenix Valley, right? Or the expert in tankless water heater, and like
start shooting content. That's it.
Yeah, make content. And so I think there's anyone who's not doing anything on social who relies on customers to pay their mortgage is missing a big opportunity. And for nothing else, if you just get started now, I mean, we've got some guys in their young, early 20s. Go ahead and get started and get good at it and watch how quickly
100%
you're self-sustained.
Yeah.
Right. Just be good at it for whatever's next in your life, because you have no idea what that is yet.
Yeah. And as far as the book goes, I'm pointing down here because I have like 40 books down here. But the 5 essentials are goals, desire, discipline, confidence, action. And so that's the code for me. I am very mindful of my goals daily. Like I said, am I doing things day to day to get me closer to my goals? Yes. 100 million between 2 and 3 years. Boom. Buying my wife and I a new house in March. Boom. Like all the money, putting it to a house fund. Working on having kids, taking the certain protocols that I need to medically because of all the stuff I did back in the day. So it's like everything. I'm very focused and aligned with my goals and doing things again day to day to get there. And then desires. As men, we got to make sure that we stay focused, we stay faithful to our teams, to ourselves, and to our significant others, to our wives, our girlfriends, fiancés, whatever that is. And then also there's the burning desire, like the goal, goals, desire. I have a burning desire to achieve all of the things that I want to achieve. Goals, desire, discipline. We went into that heavily. So being very disciplined to doing the things day to day to achieve the goals. And that comes along with the burning desire. When you have the burning desire, it's easier to be disciplined because you want that in your life so freaking bad. And you're not going to do a lot of things or really anything to compromise that. So goals, desire, discipline, confidence. If you don't have confidence, if you don't believe in you, who else is going to believe in you? But that's also around getting around winners, because winners are not putting people down. Winners are not shaming people. Winners are not making fun of people. Winners are doing what they can do to help you grow and win in your life, whether you're doing it with that person in their company or somewhere else. I am not out just making fun of people, putting them down. I am here to lift others up, because that's what true strong people do. We lift others up and we help them be the best that they can be. I have a lighthouse tattooed right here because even during the dark times, you're going to see the light, right? But for me, it's also about helping other people see the light and getting other people to tap into their greatness. So goals, desire, discipline, confidence, and then action. Nothing matters if you're not in action. And like knowledge is power is a bunch of bullcrap. It's applied knowledge is power, because you can know everything in the world. And if you are not applying what you know every single day, then what good does the knowledge do? You can be the brokest, smartest person in the room. Period. End of story. And so all of this together, that is my code. standard of greatness, that is everything. Standard of greatness for me and for everybody around me. Like, if you're going to get around me, I'm going to help you be your best. If you're going to come into my company, two things are going to happen. Either I'm going to bring out the best in you, you're going to be the best you've ever been in all areas of your life, not just financially, because I'm not bringing, like, I treat people like family in my company. I'm here to mentor you and coach you and guide you to be successful, but not just monetarily, because if you have a bad home life, you're not going to perform at a top level in work. It's just not going to happen. So it's important that every single thing is pretty much on point. Yeah, we were human. We have things that come up, but you got to be dialed in. Your home life has to be good. Mind, body, spirit. Level 10, mind, body, spirit. Right? And it's like all of these things matter. And that's it. Like, that's my code. That's how I live my day to day. A standard of excellence, being my best, serving the community, and it's not just being my best for me. Like, I'm a freaking powerful force. And I say that with no ego. I know that I'm able to help a lot of people because I've done it and I continue to do it. So if I don't show up as my best, I'm doing God a disservice because he kept me around for a reason. And I don't take that lightly. And every single person listening to this podcast, you're here for a reason. That's another thing about humans. We all have the ability to choose. We have the power of choice. We're the only life form that doesn't live up to its best. A tree does not grow its branches out half as much as they can. A tree grows as much as possible, right? Like, fruit gets as big as it can. And animals, they're out there in survival of the fittest kind of thing. We will sit around and sleep all day, be depressed, chill, just lounge, not really care about life, not be our best. And that's unacceptable to me. Like, again, we have power of choice, and you're not that far away from the life that you want to live. You just got to get into action. And those small daily disciplines compound like crazy. I mean, you'll look, if you start to put the things that we discussed in this podcast to work into action every single day, in a year, 2 years, 3 years, you'll look back and be like, man, my life has drastically changed. It's just because you got focused and you started living your life different. And I mean, it's not rocket science. Pretty much every single successful person has the same outline to their story.
I love it, Jason. And you chosen to apply all that passion that you just came up with there into the trades now. Talk to us about what you're doing and the opportunities that you are seeing with that.
Yeah, man. So I started a roofing and construction company. Like I said, I pivoted from the network marketing company a little bit. I go to a few events a year. I'm super grateful for the company. It changed my life forever and the people in it. I needed to be doing something different. Buddy of mine called me at the end of December of 2023 about starting a company. We started one in January together. He already had a partner in Oklahoma. It was a really weird situation, but I learned a lot from him. And I got to a point, I saw him once in 4.5 months. So I tried to renegotiate percentages and he didn't want to do it. So we mutually went our separate ways. On the business, we still talk almost every single day. I mean, we talk all the time. And so I'm actually doing something really special for him. I talked to his wife about it, but I'm paying for his hair transplant. They're going to deposit the money tomorrow into the bank account because I've wanted to do something really special for him because he got me into the business. And that's just the kind of guy that I am. He never asked me for anything. I just feel like it's my duty and obligation to give back to him. Because of that phone call, my life has changed. So at the end of June, we split apart last year. And then end of that month, early July is when I started Summit. And Summit Solutions Roofing and Construction. And I mean, people are like, dude, like your company is exploding. It's crazy. Did you buy a company? You had to have bought a company. I'm like, no, I had no reps. I had an operations manager because he came from the other company. So he still works with me and my old partner. And then, I mean, I had crews because like my partner was in Oklahoma and I was in Texas. So I had to find the crews to do the jobs for us, right? So I got the crews. So yeah, I had crews, but I had no customers and I had no reps. I had to go create all of that. And here we are now with like 16 or 17 sales guys. And man, I got like some crazy AI stuff calling. I got a hiring funnel, being around by the best of the best. Like we got some, maybe things are getting exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's crazy.
And along with that, you're also stepping into the mentorship game. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I get asked to coach people every single day, like, hey, man, do you offer coaching or mentoring? And I have a lot of people that ask me if they can pick my brain, if they can take me to lunch or coffee. And I just don't do that anymore because I had horrible experiences. I'd be like, sure, let's go. And then it's like, I'm getting blown up on my phone. I'm sitting here and this person's just talking about themselves the whole time. It's like, I thought we were meeting for you to ask me questions and me to like help you. Like, this is pointless for me. So yeah, I started a mentorship. So I have two different tiers. One is more so for sales reps that are wanting to sharpen and polish their skills and want some help that maybe don't get a lot of help from their owner to really catapult to get to six figures or multiple six figures. And then for owners that are stuck at like, maybe they haven't even hit a million or like the 1 to 3 million range or whatever. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to the people and your ability to recruit and building a brand and all of that kind of thing. So that's what I teach. And then I'm coming out with a tier 3 for somebody who is starting from ground zero, because I just got a client last week on the tier 2. He's a developer. He knows nothing about roofing. So like I had to teach him everything, so that's a whole different like caliber. And I was like, look, bro, like this is mentorship is brand new. Like and I have a whole ads team and we're about to just pump it like crazy. I got the setters and the closers and a whole team on the back end. But I was like, look, I'm giving you this price, but just so you know, this is what the price is going to be. So he locked in right away. But yeah, I figured, and I wasn't going to do it, but I'm like, look, I have so many people that are hitting me up. And if they're truly serious and want help, they will invest in themselves. Period. End of story. Like, I know for a fact that I can help you and I will help you. And it is such a minimal investment for where you'll go.
Yeah. And appreciate that, Jason. You've invested in our listeners on this podcast, and we appreciate you doing that. Before we let you go, if people are interested in learning more about you, if they want to find your book, if they want to learn more about the mentorship program, where's good places to get connected with you?
Yeah, so Tatted Prez, TATTEDPREZZZ, like tatted up, tattooed, and then president, like Prez, PREZZZ. So that is my handle for YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. And then Jason Nemes is my Facebook and LinkedIn, although I really don't use LinkedIn a lot. My book on Amazon, The Code of Behavior, or you can just Google it, The Code of Behavior. And it's on many different platforms, Barnes & Noble, online, Walmart, Target, but Amazon is where most people order it. And you can DM me about the mentorship. Usually I hop on a Zoom call just to kind of go over things and like get to know who it is that I'm talking to and what they're needing. So then I can recommend which coaching program they should go to, because I'm not going to recommend somebody pay a ton of money or like the higher level if it just doesn't fit their needs or where they're at. Like I'm
Sure.
not here to like gouge people and rip people off. Like I'm all about providing the value for where somebody's at, where they're wanting to go. So, and I always tell people, if you start with the smaller and then you want to up tiers, that I will deduct the tier 1 from the tier 2. So you're not having to pay the full price.
Good stuff, Jason. As we wrap it up today, take us out on what you describe in your book as your next best step, but for our listeners.
Your next best step.
Let's say for the middle guy, he's not the loser, he's not the winner, kind of sitting on the sidelines watching everybody. He's an extra in the movie.
Yeah, I would say to go take some time to yourself, be by yourself where you have no noise, put your phone away, and reflect on everything you've heard today. Reflect on where you're at financially, and then take a look at how you spend your days and what those look like. And if those are winning habits or if they're loser habits, if they align with where you want to go in life or if they don't. That's a great time to even think about, do you know where you want to go? Do you know what your goals are? And if you don't, start jotting those kinds of things down, because you can't hit a target that you don't have. You cannot hit a target that you don't see. And it needs to be on the paper. Like, you put a target, you put it over there and you freaking shoot it. Whether it be a gun, a bow and arrow, right? Like, you cannot hit a target that's not there. So we need to start jotting some things down on paper. We need to start brainstorming and put a plan into action. Where do you want to be? Reverse engineer it. But taking a good, deep, hard look at yourself is the next best step. And are you committed to doing what it's going to take to get to where you want to go? And if not, why? But these are things that's like, that's why people hire mentors. That's why people get coaches, because even the best athletes in the world have coaches and trainers. Like Michael Jordan worked with Tim Grover. Michael Jordan was the best, arguably the best basketball player of all time. I personally think he is, but he definitely was during his time. Guess what? He had a coach for 14 years, I believe it was, Tim Grover. LeBron has coach. Everybody has a coach. So even some of the best coaches have coaches. So, it's, you don't know what you don't know. And how are you going to get the information? Are you going to go seek it? A lot of times, hire a coach, hire somebody that is where you want to be, because they can help you get to where you want to be way faster because they've already done it.
Perfect place to end it. Our guest today has been Jason Nemes. We've really appreciated you hanging out with us today, Jason. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Nate and Brian.
Yeah, good stuff, buddy. I appreciate it. We'll definitely see.
Thank you.
Let's definitely make a plan to do this next year as well.
For sure. It'll be even better.
Well, that's a wrap for this episode. We hope that you enjoyed your time with Jason Nemes. Great content today, and I hope it's been inspiring for you. His book is also inspiring, The Code of Behavior, 5 Essentials to Unlocking a Life of Extreme Inspiration, Unlimited Confidence, and Endless Victory. Make sure you check that out. Also hit him up on his socials and really focus on the things that he talked about today, which is setting goals, having desire, developing your discipline, taking confidence in action, and moving forward with your code of behavior. If you're feeling lackluster in where you are today or who you are today, perhaps Jason's book and story could be inspirational for you in turning that corner. So let him know that you liked this episode. And of course, if you did, maybe some others would as well. And we would appreciate it if you'd share it around. We're going to leave you now with our weekly challenge, which continues to be the same: to choose to wake up each and every morning and waste no day.